Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have a look at the T110E5. Now this tank is a beautiful tank. It's so good. Even better since Wargame removed the hatch on top. Now a lot of you won't even remember that hatch. A lot of you are probably newer to the game, and that hatch was probably gone before you would have even joined the game. Now the hatch on top used to be a really bad weak point for the T110E5, but Wargaming removed that hatch and the tank now is just so much better. Not only is it an all-rounder, it's a jack of all trades. It's a heavium. I mean, the DPM is pretty good at 2,800, better than most heavies. Not as good as the 113, which is just crazy at nearly 3,500, but it's good penetration, good accuracy. Like, everything about the tank is really good. And then Wargaming went and made it even better by giving it the speed boost, the special speed boost that makes it go faster. It didn't need it. I mean, they removed the hatch. That was good enough. They then gave the speed boost. I mean, it's quick enough as it is. The tank is quick enough as it is. So them giving it that speed boost has just made it even stronger. I know you only get the speed boost for a certain amount of time, but it makes you get into the position a lot quicker. Now this thing, the armor wise, is very good. It has 200mm on your turret, but it also has 250mm on the front of your hull. So very strong turret, very strong hull. The bottom of your hull is quite weak, that and can be penned. But other than that, you've got great armor. You've got 8 degrees of gun depression on top of that to go with your 200mm of your turret. And when you're using that 8 degrees of gun depression, when you have 250mm of hull armor as well, you can afford to sort of get in there and stay in that position and just get bounce after bounce. And that is what you can do in the T110E5. Now the side armor and the rear obviously is not great. Being an American tank is not great. You can be HE'd from the rear, and I think you can even from big guns, you can even be HE'd from the side in between your tracks. So you do need to take special attention to that. Look out for your tanks. Now, how do you play this tank? Do you play as a heavy or do you play as a medium? For me, it all depends. It all depends, and that's why I absolutely love this tank. You could play it as a heavy, no problem as well, because you've got the armor, you've got the DPM to come up against other heavies, and you can also play it against the medium tanks because, again, you've got the armor and you've got the DPM to kind of almost match the mediums. Especially if you do go with your mediums, you have the speed to get there at the same time, especially if you're using the speed boost. So it all depends on your team, and it all depends on the enemy team. If the enemy's got 3 mediums and your team only has 2 mediums, then yeah, you can surprise the enemy and go with the mediums, because they might be sitting there thinking, okay, we've got 3 mediums, the enemy have got 2, let's rush. And they go and rush, and all of a sudden they've got a T110E5 sitting there that's got there at the same time as the other medium tanks, and you can just rinse into them. You can bounce shots. The traverse is pretty good. You can't really be circled with the thing, kind of impossible. So it is literally a jack of all trades. It can do just about anything on the battlefield. You can pump out that damage really quick. You can bounce shots. I mean, this game here, we do finish on 5.5k damage, but we only bounced 420 damage. But we had no one attacking us. We are going to watch a game where the armor shows. The armor just shows how good you can be in this tank. Now that we wasn't with a patron there, I mean, that game there, 10k between us, we pretty much carried that game. But next up, we are going to watch it's a fantastic play. It is Spice the Top, and he's on Rockfield. Now I love the camo he's rocking here. Now he's got the speed boost as well. One thing I'm quite surprised, he's not running the adrenaline. Now what are your guys' preferences? Now, I mean, anything other than an autoloader that can have adrenaline, I run adrenaline. I love the idea of reloading faster, especially if you've come up against a tank with like the same tank and you've got an adrenaline and they haven't. You know, if you can just smash that adrenaline button, you're going to reload before them. And it is a big help. It is a big help. I literally run adrenaline on everything I possibly can. If the tank can have adrenaline, I will run adrenaline. The same as if the tank can have the speed boost that makes the tank go really, really quick, then I will also use that as well. I'd sacrifice a repair kit to use that, definitely. But this guy, Spice, he's not sacrificing a repair kit. He's actually sacrificing the adrenaline to use the speed boost, which is really, really interesting. But the position he's in, this is the kind of position you want to play the T110E5. Hold down over the ridge, using the gun depression, using the speed if you need to, and just bully those enemy tanks. I mean, he's bullied this E75. He's going to get a nice bounce from that E75. So far, he's blocked 780 damage. He hasn't taken any damage in return. You can see he's trying to get a shot there on the E75 between the gun. It is quite a difficult pen, but he is just bouncing everything that comes his way at the moment. Now, he does need to decide what he wants to do. He has to take these guys out, and unfortunately, again, he does get another bounce, this time on the E50. He is shooting the heat. He does need to just pay a little bit more attention, take a little bit more time in aiming at these guys. Now finally he does get the pen on the E50, bringing him down to a one shot. The VK's gone on his team. There is 2 tanks down now, 2 minutes gone, and it is a 5 versus 7, but he's almost brought the E50M to back to the garage. There he goes. And now the E75 is also very, very low hit points, but it's now a 4 versus 6. A lot of work to do. He's trying to aim, doesn't really want to fight the pattern. Again, he's very unlucky. The RNG at the moment is not on his side. Now, he does bounce the pattern. Now, this is where he's going to use that speed boost to just reverse and hopefully get out of the way. He doesn't want the pattern or the E75 to chase him together. Now, I love what he's doing here. He ignores the pattern, and he is still getting bounce after bounce. He's going to ignore the pattern and he's going to go for the E75. The E75 is low hit points. Now, he is going to get a few shots from the pattern. And bear in mind, the pattern has got good DPM, so he needs to take care of this guy pronto. He has to do it because he's just going to get ripped apart from this M48 pattern, especially as it is a 3 versus 5. And I like what he does there. He starts going for the pattern, hoping the Emil would actually take out the E75, and that is exactly what happens. And now all of a sudden it's a 3 versus 4. The Emil is full hit points. Now he's going to ignore the pattern and let the Emil deal with him while he tries to get into position from these guys, get hold down again because he is low hit points now. The E100 can take him out with one shot, but he's done a great job, and it's just gone to show like what this tank can actually do. Hold down, people will start trying to aim at that tiny hatch, and if you're moving, it's a very, very hard pen. So sometimes you will get these big guns just shooting HE because that is all they can do. Now he's blocked 2,900 damage, he's on 4,600 damage, and now he's going to let the Emil go first. He's hopefully going to let the E100 shoot the Emil, and then he can push up and be a little bit more aggressive. They bring it now down, or they brought it down to a 3-on-3. And again, I love what he's doing here. Him being in that position with the Emil is no good because it gives the E100 a choice. It gives the E100 a choice to make what tank he wants to go for. Where now getting into this position, the E100 has to make that choice, but him making that choice will make his armor weak for the other tank. So a tank either side of this guy, it was the right choice and a great decision to make. And of course, him being here lets him hide against the other 2 tanks as well, the missile tank and the mouse. So they brought this E100 now down. Lovely fire there just when he needed it, and all of a sudden the E100 has now gone. Now it's just him and the Emil versus an almost full hit point mouse. He could be a one-shot if the mouse high rolls, and he definitely could be a one-shot to this T92E1, so he has to take him out. What a lovely shot there, 3 kills. So he misses His bounces at the start of the game is now paying off. He's now waiting for his opportunity. He's now being patient. You can see he's not quite dropping down the hill yet. He's just going to wait for the opportunity, but he has to maybe do something, because the Emil is now a one-shot. He's possibly a one-shot. He's not going to use his speed boost yet. He's going to wait for his speed boost, and you can see he's trying to bait the shot. He does exactly that, and now that allows him to aim. Unfortunately, he does bounce, and now he's going to use the speed boost. Bit late, if you ask me. He does get a little bit lucky, but he has to do something because the Emil has also dropped down, and he manages to get behind. And now if the Emil just carries on hiding behind that rock, there is not a lot this mouse can do. He can only reverse, and as soon as he turns his turret to face the E5, that is when the Emil will pop out as well. So great play by the E5, and this battle just goes to show how good of a tank this can be, especially with that speed boost. Now 3,360 block damage, 4 kills, and he ends on 8,457 damage, or 54 damage. Great play, Spice the Hop. Thank you for letting me have that replay, and that just goes to show how good this tank can be. If you haven't got the tank, it definitely is worth a grind. It's actually a good grind with the M103 as well in tier 9. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I will catch you all very soon. Bye bye. With